Hey everyone, it's Lee with Mantis Mechanics here to talk about the hardest stance in Kung Fu. So what is the hardest stance in Kung Fu or Chinese martial arts? It is going to be the single leg crouch stance. The stance has a lot of different names and a lot of different styles, sometimes called a mantis stance, sometimes called a cat stance, sometimes called a tiger stance. I've even heard it called a bird or phoenix stance. That doesn't matter. The mechanics are all the same for each and every one of them. Okay? So the single leg crouch stance is when you put all the weight on one leg, little or no weight on this front leg, and you crouch down until your leg gets to thigh parallel or 90 degrees. That is the standard, right? That's the standard that everybody is going after, is getting at 90 degrees. This is the hardest stance for most people to get to 90 degrees. Horse stance is used a lot, but when you're only on one leg, it becomes a lot harder to do. And I've been teaching for about 10 years now, and this is the one that people have the hardest time getting to that standard. So today I'm going to show you a little trick to help you get your thigh to parallel level in very, very short amount of time. So what I have here is a weight, okay? You don't need a weight. You can use a book. You can use a 2x4. You can use whatever you need. You're just using this to raise your heel off the ground. So when I do this, I'm going to step and put my heel only, okay? Not my whole foot, just my heel on the weight, okay? And then I'm going to go into my stance, okay? Now, some of you guys might be saying, well, hey, you just got the thigh parallel, but you probably could do that on your right leg anyways. Well, you guys are right. So I'm going to do this on my left side. I actually injured my left Achilles tendon a couple months ago, and it's still tight. It's a lot tighter than my right leg. So I'll show you my stance on my left side as low as I can go right now, and then I'll show you on the weight how it makes the difference. So I go on my left side. That's about it. That's about it right there before I start feeling it. So now, you take the weight, and move it over here so I stay in the camera angle, okay? Step on it, okay? And now, I'm going to go down. And you can see, I'm able to get down, right? Okay? So, what does that mean? Well, it means grab your heel and let's all go do some Kung Fu. No, it doesn't. It means that you have poor dorsiflexion in your ankle, especially under load, which under load just means that you have weight on top of your ankle, which is your own body weight. So dorsiflexion of the ankle, if I take my heel like this, if I point my toes down, that's plantar flexion. When I point the toe up towards the shin, that's dorsiflexion. If I'm not able to dorsiflex my foot, I'm not able to get into that low stance. When I put my heel on the weight, okay, and try to go parallel to the ground, it takes that dorsiflexion aspect out of it. And if this worked for you, this means that you have poor dorsiflexion. You need to work on it, okay? The solution is not the weight, putting a weight or a heel on. The heel or the weight, putting something on your heel, only points at what the problem could be. Now I'm going to repeat that because that's very, very important for you to understand. Putting something underneath your heel is not the solution. It is only pointing at what the problem could be. Okay? So I'm going to show you two stretches that are going to stretch the major muscles of the back of the leg, or the calf muscles right in here. Okay? The two muscles are the gastrocnemius, or sometimes just called the gastroc, and then the soleus. Okay? So when we stretch these, our first stretch, I'm going to move this weight out of the way, is finding a wall, leaning up against it, and just stretching your foot back and forth. You can see that I'm moving back and forth. This is a dynamic stretch. If I move like this, if I just hold it here for longer than 8 seconds, that's going to become a static stretch. We're going to talk about static stretching and dynamic stretching at the end of the video. The next one, that one is going to be for the gastroc, right, which are these calf muscles here. Soleus, which is right in here, okay, we're going to use this stretch. You're going to put your foot up on something. Maybe it should be a little bit higher than this, maybe. Could be a curb. And again, if I go back and forth, lift my toes up, right, lift up on the toes on each leg, this would be dynamic stretching. If I just sit on one leg and hold it for up to 8 seconds, that's going to be more of a static stretch, okay? So when do you use dynamic and static stretching? Well, dynamic stretching you should use at the beginning of your workout, okay? If you go do your static or dynamic stretching and then go into your workout and you're getting as low a stance as you can, then that's good. You're getting the optimal results for your workout. However, if you're just going through your practice and you're 20 minutes in before you can get into your lowest stance, well, guess what? That 20 minutes wasn't really practice. It was just warming up. So if you do this dynamic stretching beforehand, it's going to help you get into that stance a lot quicker, and you're going to get more out of your practice, and you'll have to practice less, right? Because you're going to get maximum effect out of your practice. Now, at the end of your workout session, you can do your static stretching. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still stretch dynamically at the end of your workout. That doesn't matter. You can stretch dynamically anytime you want, okay? But I would save static stretching till the end. Another thing about static stretching is learn to relax when you do this. Don't think, okay, I got to get my dorsiflexion good so I can get that low stance. So if I go really, really hard, I'm going to get there faster. If you are not able to breathe, or if you're talking like this when you are stretching, then you are probably doing more harm than good, okay? When you stretch and you're causing yourself to strain, your body is basically saying, I'm about to get injured, so it's going to tighten up. So you're not going to see a lot of results very quickly from that type of stretching. However, if you back off that and you're able to relax into the stretch, your body's going to say, oh, hey, I can do this. I don't need to be tight. I can loosen up. And you keep on doing that, and you're going to become more flexible, okay? Now, for those of you who tried this and it wasn't a magic bullet, some of you, this will feel like a magic bullet. You're going to step on this weight and go straight down to the thigh parallel, and it's going to feel great. Some of you might do this and not see any change in your stance. You might see just a little bit or not at all. And that is probably another problem that we're going to look at in our next video, in part 2 of the hardest stance in Kung Fu. Let me know in the comments below if this actually worked for you, how you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Until then, keep practicing, guys.